Afternoon everybody, this is Arindam Bag here from the Department of English, Maharaja Nandakumar Mahavidyalaya. As we scheduled earlier, as we planned earlier, that today we will be discussing about Victorian Age. This presentation will be followed by another video presentation which will be uploaded today. Please check my channel, please do like my channel, share my channel and subscribe my channel, and if you have any queries, please put your questions in the comment section or in the WhatsApp group. So where it is, let us understand the political aspect of this age. Now, England at that time, rather under the reign of Queen Victoria, it held a remarkable position in Europe. Yes, obviously she was one of the most powerful country at that time. Only Russia challenged her. But apart from that, her navy controlled the sea. I told you in my earlier presentation that age was kind of stable. The political scenario, the social scenario was kind of stable. And there was a famous saying that the sun never sets in the British Empire. That means the entire world was actually ruled by the British people. So it was a remarkable time and there was a lot of things going on at that time. So this is also known as an era of reform. Why it has been known as era of reform? Because you can see there is a list over here which starts from 1833 which ends in 1870. That doesn't mean the reform ended in the year 1870. There was several other reforms also going on at that time. So these are the Reforms Act which we have here in front of us. That is Factory Act, which was implemented in the year 1833. Chimney sweeps, it was implemented in 1840. Now I will like to tell you about this particular act. You will find a reference or rather a story in Charles Lamb's Praise of the Chimney Sweepers. If you read that one, you will understand the suffering of the children who were actually employed as chimney sweepers. Even he made a comparison with a particular scene of Macbeth, Shakespeare's Macbeth, where he describes that these boys are like the apparitions and they hold their sweeps and they go through the chimneys. So it was a very deadly task actually. A lot of children died or suffered, and that's why England, or the rather Queen, tried to control this particular problem in her society. Then we have this Mines Act which was implemented in the year 1842, the Poor Law Act 1834, Public Health 1848, Municipal Corporation Act 1835, Emancipation of Slaves 1833, Education Act 1870. So these are the reforms, general reforms which were very much significant, which leaves a very significant impression on the society of England. So let us move to the next part, science and technology. Yes, this is the very part I was talking about in my last presentation. I mentioned about that as industrial revolution. Now industrial revolution is not a magic which might happen in a single day or overnight. It takes some steps, it takes some method. Now here it is, if you check the development, if you check the science and discoveries of that age, you will find that suddenly, or rather in a very quick span of time, the human civilization was upgraded into a new level, such as in this COVID situation when we are bound to work from home and we are using this platform. So because of a crisis, some other system was invented and it was exercised. Now at that time there was no infrastructure, there was no facilities. Now look at these things. First there is railway, ironclad warship. Previously warships were made of wood and they were very much vulnerable. Iron steamers also. The Bessemer process for steel manufacturing, this is one of the most important part, because you are creating structures or you are creating things which will last for a long time. And steel is very much durable material which has been manufacturing and which was in exercise at that time. Turbine ship, yes, it provides smooth and quick, it is a quick transportation method also. It was found in 1897. Bicycles, yes, personal transportation options were available. Back in those days, people used to travel by their carriages, by carts. Those are the only things they had to move alone, or rather horse ride. Yeah, horse ride. Even in Pride and Prejudice, if you remember that chapter where Jane was traveling to Netherfield Park, she was actually using horseback. And the next part, when if you read that novel Pride and Prejudice, you will get the reference of Elizabeth. When she was informed that her sister is ill, so she had to move from her home to Netherfield Park, and she covered all the distance from her home to Netherfield Park by walking. That's why Caroline Bingley was making fun of her. So bicycle, personal transportation, personal means of transportation. It was then motor car. Yeah, much more faster. Even nowadays, even this during this lockdown period, people who has their personal transportation system, they do not face the difficulty that much. Yeah, petrol price is little bit of concern, but that is not a big deal. But motor car in that time, it was something which is, which was like a symbol of luxury, which actually helped people to move fast from one place to another. Telegraph, your means of communication. See today we are also using faster medium. Now the India is now moving towards 5G. Japan, there we are doing some sort of agreement to implement 5G over here. Right now we are having 4G. Previously it had 3G, and before that 2G, GPRS, and so on. But look at this telegraph. It was invented at the time, so you can send message from one place to another very quickly. Telephone was also there. Typewriter. Medical science improved a lot. Pasteur's experiment. Then you have antiseptics. Now this is something which is a very regular thing which we are using right now in our daily life. But imagine the time when you don't have this. Even people died out of septics. Of very minimum cut or injury could have killed people. Now then we have Ronald Ross discovered the secret of malaria. We all know that malaria, it is a pathogen based disease, which is actually the reason behind it is mosquitoes. And we know the exact bacteria responsible for malaria is Plasmodium vivax. So it was also discovered here during this time. And yes, there is a connection of Kolkata with Sir Ronald Ross. You have a street also. If you check the map of Kolkata, you will find there is a particular street named after him. So now the chief authors we have, there is a list of chief authors. You can see a lot of name is there. On the top side we have Tennyson, as expected, because the class started with the topic Tennyson, isn't it? So he is in the front, and he is one of the senior also. No, we have Macula also, but Tennyson, you can see the year of birth and passing away. You can see Tennyson, you can see Browning. I didn't mention about Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I kept Browning, Robert Browning, and his wife Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Both of them were very much influential, though they were not staying in England. They were staying in Italy. So still they contributed towards the development of English literature. That's why Browning is also very important. Dickens, he is like a powerhouse of novels. He was like himself an industry of novels. If you check his biodata, if you read through his biography, then you will find a lot of novels which actually reflected the Victorian society. Was written by Dickens, and he wrote a lot. Thackeray, Meredith, Carlyle, Macaulay, Ruskin. These are the chief authors we have here. So this is going to be the end of this presentation. This is just an outline. Now in my very next presentation, I will go through the salient feature of the Victorian Age, which will be uploaded in a very short time right after this presentation. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, if you want to say something, you can put your questions in the comment section, or you can directly put your question on the WhatsApp group. Thank you again. Stay home, stay safe.